Energetic woman, they got the game. Customer success is their claim to fame.
Welcome back to the Customer Success Playbook Podcast. I'm Kevin, and this is our Friday episode where we discuss the impacts of AI on this week's topic. We've been talking with Roman about preparing your team for success in 2025. On Monday, he highlighted the Keep, Kill, Start exercise, and on Wednesday, we explored how to make meetings more valuable. Today, we'll look at how AI, specifically tools like ChatGPT, can act as a customer success assistant to help with evaluation and planning. Roman, it's great to have you back for part 3. Actually, it's always great to have you here. We like to always have you here. How are you doing today?
I'm good. We made it to Friday, Kev, the new format. So I like that the Friday episodes are going to be the impact that AI can have on that week's theme. It's so prevalent. I think our audience is going to get so much out of it tactically because it's the new wave of how people work. So yeah, I'm excited to talk about this today.
Yep, me too. So let's dive in. Today, we wanted to talk about how AI can enhance what you've been discussing all week, right? For instance, how do you see a tool like ChatGPT helping teams run the Keep, Kill, Start exercise, or how do you make teams more effective in meetings with a tool like ChatGPT?
Yeah, I'll use ChatGPT, right? I know there's a ton of AI tools out there, but I think this is one that everyone is familiar with, has probably given it a shot. And if you haven't, you should definitely give it a shot. Go in there and try it out. But in terms of how it relates to the topics this week, just preparing your teams for 2025 and beyond, hitting the ground running, let's start with the Keep, Kill, Start. I love using ChatGPT as a AI customer success assistant. So I like having it ask me a lot of questions about what my goals are and some of the challenges I'm having going into the year. And so by giving those prompts, and I like prompting, I think, Kevin, you may have been the one that told me this, is giving the AI assistant a profile. So like I say, you are a expert customer success leader. Help me with this Keep, Kill, Start meeting framework that I want to introduce to my team, or I want to, talk to my team about this quarter. As I do that, I ask it to feed me questions, right? So, ask me questions that can help to get my mind rolling on that. And, so example, I'll say, this is one, ChatGPT, help me with things I should start to think about for my team in 2025. It'll come up with a list of 10 or 15 things like, hey, you do this, do A, B, C, D. And a lot of that, I'll say, when I first start, I'll say, we're already doing A, B, and C, but you've got me intrigued by D. Tell me more about what you're thinking in terms of D. And then I can really start to shape that, okay, with some back and forth questioning. And it's like, oh, okay, that's a great idea. My team's a little unique because of, the way we're aligned, our customer base, you name it. ChatGPT takes that, it updates it. And I say, you know what? Now we have an idea that I really want to start, right? Now I can roll forward with this idea. And it's not completely new, Kevin. A lot of these ideas I get from ChatGPT aren't completely new. They're high-level thoughts that I've had where I can just put these high-level thoughts into ChatGPT. They're not super flushed out. Here's a good example. We have a professional services engagement. You buy a block of hours each month, right? It's a service that we offer. I really want to restructure it. It's very resource heavy. I want to make it sure that it's delivering value to our clients and delivering value to us as well, right? And so it's a concept. Right? I didn't have an ideas around how we should change it. How should we restructure? What does this mean? I just started with that. Here's what I'm thinking. And then through that back and forth prompting and questioning and refinement, then an actual idea start to emerge. Those are some really good ideas. I think we could take this forward. I didn't think of this as a downstream impact. I really started to think about this, right? And the other thing I'd like to do is once I meet with my team individually, I have a bunch of starts, a bunch of keeps, and a bunch of kills. I kind of put it in there. I don't put names on it. I just say, hey, here's what people are talking about, right? Here's what my team's talking about, high level, right? Help me come out with what should my 30 and 60 days look like to really get these off the ground, right? That's such an accelerator for me. right? I love the idea that it can come back and really tell me, say, Roman, in the next 30 days, if you really want to start these, you really want to kill these, or you really want to keep these, here's what you need to do. Here's who may need to be assigned tasks and actions. So that's a real game changer. The other one, Kev, is around meetings. We talked about meetings on Wednesdays. Which meetings should you, how do you get value out of meetings? You talked about it already. You can transcribe the meetings. You can set, I know on Teams, you can set to have all your meetings recorded, right? Which the transcription comes with it. Just you can take that either in Copilot or in ChatGPT and say, hey, give me a quick summary, give me a quick next steps. What I like about AI, Kev, is, you may do it one time and say, I don't like that AI summary. It sounds like AI. It's too long. The next steps aren't clear. Well, you can refine it, right? You keep training the AI. It gets better based off your input and your feedback. Just because you did it one way doesn't mean that's how it always has to be, right? And it's like, hey, I want this more concise. I don't want it more than one paragraph. On the next steps, make sure you have an action owner. Make sure you have a due date. And then at that point, I get 90% there. And then like you said, then I can easily copy, refine it, tweak it. The other thing I've noticed, Kev, is it starts to put it in my own voice more and more, which is super helpful. And I know you know all about that.
Yeah, no, and I think, Roman, that's some great tips, really on getting it to use your voice. There's really a lot of changes that have been made to the product that really are making it much better at sounding like you, especially if you use if you're a subscriber and you use some of the advanced features. I think even if you're not a subscriber, I think that some of that's now available in helping to create your voice and make it sound like you. And there's some tricks between using, Claude. Claude actually has a program that will generate a description of your voice as part of its settings features. Now you can use Claude to do that, copy the description of your voice, and then bring that into ChatGPT. There's really some incredible stuff in getting it to think and speak in your voice. But the biggest key to it is driving your thought process. And I think that's really the biggest point you're making is, okay, I've got a thought process that I know I want to develop and dive deep into this thought process. And how do I dive deep into this thought process? Whereas previously you'd have to go do lots of research and you'd have to kind of really pull on all of your things, come up with the questions to ask yourself, to think about it, to kind of drive an outline and then think through how you respond to the outline. Well, now that process becomes much more dynamic and much faster to drive your thoughts out, because you can ask a partner to walk with you to drive your thoughts out by saying, hey, this is the topic I'm thinking about. I want to drive into developing a strategy. What are the questions I should be answering to drive into the strategy? And get a list of questions. And now I'm like, okay, this is what I think about this, and this is what I think about that. And it's an iterative process that really drives down to building out your own thought process, not taking thoughts from the tool, but driving your own thought process and allowing it to help you drive into your thought process. And then taking that and using the tool to help refine it and make it better and express it better, because it's faster at taking what you put in and re-expressing it in the voice that you want to express it in if you've taken the time to work with it and train it on your voice. And if you've taken the time to write down all of your thoughts, it can actually really capture your voice by looking at your thoughts as you've taken the time to capture them. So, Roman, another excellent episode. I'm excited about this new format. Thank you for bringing these insights. If you're listening, you want to experiment with AI for your planning or meeting agendas, now's the time. Let's get started with it. That wraps up our episode, our 3-part series with Roman. If you found this mini episode format helpful, make sure to subscribe to the podcast and share it with your team, share it with your friends, share it with your network. We'll be back next week with more customer success tips and strategies. Roman's going to be turning the tables on me and interviewing me. As always, keep on playing.